Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
To our new passengers, aloha and welcome aboard.
Hey everybody, welcome to ResortLoop.com. I'm your co-host Bob Collar. I'm flying solo again because I am still on vacation here at beautiful Walt Disney World. Real quick, want to say thank you, Tim, for putting all this together and holding down the fort up there at the ResortLoop.com Studios East Annex. I hope the fountain is still working properly. I know it's the fountains are working wonderfully down here, especially at Epcot. Another shout out I have to give a shout out to, and I know you guys are probably tired of hearing about this, but I got to tell you, thank you, Joffrey's Coffee, for keeping us alive, at least my wife and I, on this trip. It is wonderful to go down to the food court at Art of Animation and get our Joffrey's Coffee every morning. It just is, it's a lifesaver, believe me, especially after the night we had last night where we were at the parks all day and got in at 1:30 in the morning back here to the resort. So quite a long day, and that's kind of what I want to talk about with you on this show. Real quick, though, one of the things I forgot to mention, my wife pointed out to me after I got done recording last show, when I mentioned that we were offered to move to a preferred room over at Pop Century from Art of Animation. We're staying in the Art of Animation Little Mermaid regular rooms, and when they offered to move us over to the Pop Century, they also were willing to give us one of our nights for free. So all I can get out of that, now keep in mind, we got the room at a 30% discount. And as I've been looking around the resort, I noticed that the Little Mermaid regular room parking lot is quite full. So I'm guessing that they're thinking it's worth one night's, giving this guy one night to stay over there if we can get full rack rate for the Little Mermaid room that he would occupy otherwise. Now, we didn't take that because of the great generosity of Tim Scott paying for this whole thing. Right, Tim? Yeah, nothing. But we just wanted to experience the Little Mermaid suites and or Little Mermaid rooms, just to give you guys an idea of how, if they're any different. The decorating is quite different. The room sizes are about the same. But I think that Disney's starting to see that, a lot of the families that want to go value can't really or don't really want to spend the extra money for the suites. And so they're looking for the rooms like the Little Mermaid rooms. But again, and we've talked about this on other shows, if you have a larger family, you kind of have to go with a suite. So, and they are beautiful. We did take a look at some of the suites. My wife and I walked around the resort and got to see one of the suites over at the Lion King area, and beautiful. The suites really do look very nice. And speaking of what we really like about the resort, absolutely love the Cars side of the Art of Animation. Beautiful. The pool, although it's small, it's very quiet. Not a lot of folks over there, and it was just a very relaxing time. We did that a couple of days ago, and it was really, really nice. One of the things we did have an issue with, unfortunately, was they were working on the music in the big blue pool. There was no music under the water, which is kind of one of the big features that they have for that. But, that's going to happen. We've talked about that in the past. Sometimes things just aren't working when you're down here, and you just kind of have to roll with it, which we have. So, all in all, it's been a very enjoyable, very relaxing trip. When you guys hear this, I'm going to be in the middle of my cruise. But I wanted to get you caught up on what we've done so far. So yesterday we spent the entire day park hopping. We did, unfortunately, and I know we're going to hear from Safari Mike on this, but we did have to skip Animal Kingdom. there just wasn't enough time. Even though there's a lot more daylight and the parks are open a lot later, we just ran out of time and couldn't make Animal Kingdom. So we started out our day at Epcot, and again, we had no tickets coming down here. We wanted to see what it would be like if you had no tickets, and can you ride the rides? Can you do the things that you want to do still? With all of the new technology and all of the planning that Disney really is asking you to do before you come down here, can you still enjoy yourself at the parks? And the answer to that is yes. There are some hiccups there, and I'll get to those in a minute. But we started our day at Epcot. It was a early entry. Since we're staying on property, we were able to get in an hour early. We got to ride all of the rides. Now, we got our tickets. And we're able to sync them through the My Disney Experience app on our smartphones. We were able to sync those to our Magic Bands, which was fantastic. I got to tell you, that worked great. Speaking of the My Disney Experience, though, and my wife pointed this out, if you're going to come down here and use that app, that My Disney Experience app, spend a lot of time at home learning that app. I spent so much time with my face buried in my phone, and Tim has talked about this. One of the big concerns we have with all of this new technology and being able to change your fast passes and all of that stuff, it was difficult to learn while I'm trying to enjoy the parks. So make sure that you really spend a lot of time learning that app so that when you get down here, you're not spending your entire vacation with your face in your phone. That was one of the big regrets I have, is that I spent an awful lot of time yesterday not enjoying the park, but trying to figure out that app and, figure out how I could change fast passes, how I couldn't change fast passes, and I'll get to that in a minute as well. Getting back to the parks, we started in Epcot, hit all the major rides right out of the gate. The only one we didn't hit was Test Track, and it had a 60-minute wait by 9 o'clock. We went straight to Soarin', went over to Mission Space. While we were after Soarin', we took a look to see what Test Track was, and it was already 60 minutes. So at 8:30 in the morning, it had already jammed up pretty good. So that was about the only one that we didn't get to hit. We also didn't get to hit Figment, which had a really long wait for some reason. Not sure why, but the wait time was over 30 minutes, and I don't know if Figment's worth a 30-minute wait, but we've talked about that before. It would be great to have that ride revamped and looking a little bit better. And not that it doesn't look good, but just a little bit more of a better experience. But we spent a little bit of time, my son and I spent a little bit of time in World Showcase. My wife and daughter spent a lot of time in World Showcase, had a great time. They had lunch over at Chef de France, of course, in France, and my daughter got to practice some of her French. She's taking French in high school. She got to practice some of her French, and for her waiter, if you happen to be listening, I know who you are. Don't Vincent. I'm hearing from across the room. Vincent. I know where you work, man. Don't be messing. He was flirting a little bit too much with my daughter. She says he's hot. I don't want to talk about that anymore. All right, moving on. So we got fast passes for Maelstrom. Now, the way Disney has that set up, you have to pick 3 fast passes. So we picked 3 fast passes for Maelstrom. One of them for Maelstrom, and the other 2, I can't recall what they were. But here's the problem. Then we were, as we've said before, we were locked in. Now, from everything that Disney has said, you're able to change these fast passes. You're able to change them within that park. You can't change them if you're park hopping and you want to go until they expire. And again, this is one of those things where I ran into problems with that My Disney Experience. I probably could have gone to a kiosk and got it all cleared up. But when you're trying to commando style it like we were and see as much as you can, stopping and trying to learn this new technology, not so much fun. So there's some tweaking that needs to be done with that, because we were unable to get any more fast passes the rest of the day because we were locked into Epcot. So that's an issue that Disney will be working on, I'm sure. Anyway, so we move over to the Disney Studios. Now, the way that we did it, my son and I took the van, drove the van over to the studios. My wife and daughter hung around World Showcase a little bit, and then took the boat over from Epcot. We got there just about the same amount of time. We weren't there all that much sooner than my wife and daughter that took the boat. So now keep in mind, we were parked about as far away from the front gate of the Disney Studios. We were way back in film with Goofy. If you know the parking lot at all, that's way out there. So we had a long walk, my son and I, to get back in the Florida heat. We were extremely dehydrated and had to rehydrate before we got on any rides. But so we met up in the Disney Studios, and I got a great story, and we're going to save that for the end, Megan. We're going to save that. You guys will understand. We're going to save that for the end of this show. But so I don't know. I mean, it would be interesting to do that comparison, driving over, taking the bus over, and some of the other podcasts tackle that. We just noticed it, that we kind of got there at the same time. So Studios was fantastic. Again, we rode almost all of the major rides except Toy Story Mania, which my kids they didn't have an interest in, so we really didn't even look to see what the wait time was. But I will say this. I did talk to a cast member. The crowd seemed pretty light down here for this late in June. All I can attribute to when I talked to the cast member, he told me they got hammered in March and April this year, and he said everybody was so sick of the northern winter that they were trying to escape to come down to Florida. So maybe a lot of people used up some vacation time and vacation money coming down early. We're also at the end of Star Wars weekends, so we didn't have to deal with the Star Wars weekends crowds, and maybe that too made this mid-June a little bit lighter than it normally is. So anyway, over at the studios. Again, the Fast Pass Plus was an issue because we were trying to Fast Pass some things and couldn't. Again, spending way too much time in that phone, so learn that app. After the studios, we had a great time at the studios, doing all, like I said, rode all the things that we wanted to ride. Tower of Terror was great. Star Tours, come to find out, and he's been holding back on me, but come to find out, my son actually is the Rebel Spy. So yeah, his face popped up there. We got some things to talk about, boy. Anyway, so we got done with the studios, had a great time there, spent a few hours there, and then shot over to Magic Kingdom. Now, the first thing that we did, because my wife has been wanting to go to be our guest, and of course we're not the 6-month out planners that Disney is trying to train us all to be. But we just can't do that. We like to eat and do things at our pace, not with a regimented schedule. So we took our chances. We went to be our guest. Went up, and of course there's people waiting to get in, and asked the lady, said, there was a lady in front of me. She had 3. She had her husband, and her little boy, 2 years old. Then it was our turn, and we said, well, do you have anything for 4? And the lady said, no, there's just, we are booked up. We really don't have anything. Then the other cast member, and I really wish I would have gotten her name because she was wonderful. She looked at us and she said, we have a table for 6. If you guys don't mind eating together. And the woman that was before me, her name was Marcy. Her husband was Fox. Their little boy was Fox Jr. Fantastic family. They were like, yeah, let's do it. So we ate with them, and they were very nice. Their son, great at 2.5 years old, was fantastic at the table. But that was our way to get in to be our guest. So doesn't hurt to ask the cast member, do you have a table for 6, and try and find a family that you might not mind having dinner with. But we were able to get in to be our guest. Beautiful restaurant, just gorgeous restaurant, and the meal was very good. For us, for our family, we're not big foodies, so it was a good experience, but kind of like the castle. We've done it now. We don't necessarily need to do it again. Special occasions, I think we would go back and enjoy it. But it was good. It was good. Don't not go to be our guest, because it is worth it, and we really enjoyed ourselves at Be Our Guest. The mine ride, surprisingly enough, the mine ride was not as crowded as you would think. I was expecting, 200-minute waits, 180-minute waits. When we went to Be Our Guest, it was a 70-minute wait, hour and 10 minutes. Not bad, really, for Disney in June. After Be Our Guest, the time had gone down to 65 minutes. We went over and decided, well, we'll ride some rides, and we'll kind of save the mine train for later on. Maybe the time will come down a little bit. We went over to Haunted Mansion. Haunted Mansion, we were getting ready to get on into our Doom Buggy, and they shut the ride down. Something happened, don't know. There were paramedics there at the exit. They evacuated the entire building. It wasn't one of those shutdowns that, they were just sit where you're at. We'll get the ride going again. It was down for the rest of the night. So I don't know what happened. I'm hoping and praying that it wasn't anything too serious with anybody. I hope everybody's okay. But we were kind of disappointed we weren't able to ride Haunted Mansion. Splash Mountain was down for refurb. It's being worked on, so there was no water in that. We enjoyed a couple of the other rides, and then went on the mine train. By the time we got back to the mine train, the wait time, believe it or not, was only for standby was 55 minutes, which is, I think, is incredible for a brand new ride. If you guys remember Toy Story Mania, it was hours before you could get on standby on Toy Story Mania, and this is a brand new ride. And I got to tell you, probably the smoothest roller coaster I've ever been on. The animatronics are incredible. We happen to know a gentleman who is the head of the art that took care of all of the art inside the animatronics and how that all was played out. And he and his staff, the entire staff of Disney Imagineering, did an incredible job. That ride is just a beautiful must-do ride. It is so much fun. Was so much fun. So that kind of wrapped up our evening. We were all just completely exhausted from the Florida heat, the Florida sun, all that walking, all that fun. Just had a great time commando styling it. We were able to ride just about everything we wanted to ride without having to deal with the whole Fast Pass issue. Love the My Disney experience, but again, learn that app before you even think about coming down here, because there is a lot going on with that app. There's a lot in there, a lot of great information. Like I said, it was great that we were able to sync up our Magic Bands to our tickets and all of that. So keep that in mind. And as I wrap this up, I want to go all the way back to the studios, because I had a fantastic experience happen to me at the studios as my wife and I, and as many of you know, and thank you all for following me on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. I've been posting pictures, and thanks to a good buddy, Sean Woosley, who has been very good to us as always, and gave us the hashtag where is Resort Loop Bob. And so I said, absolutely, that's a great idea. Thanks, Sean. And I'm going to use that. And I did. And some folks were following me, especially a young lady by the name of Megan from Cleveland, who happened to be following me along on Twitter and I took a picture over at Pizza Planet over at the studios. And we didn't think anything of it. I'm shooting out pictures all day long. Well, we happened to be passing in front of the big Mickey Sorcerer hat at the Disney Studios, and this young lady stops me and says, "Excuse me, are you Resort Loop Bob?" Now, keep in mind, I was a little bit frightened because she had a whole gang with her. And when I found out they were from Cleveland, now we're talking a Cleveland gang. So that's all. I mean, you got to be careful of them. No, they were wonderful people. Megan was fantastic. She was she loves the show, follows us, and when she noticed that I happened to be in the studios while her family was in the studios, she had to come and see me, which I really appreciate. I am so glad that she stopped by and said hello, and even better yet, I got to meet her fiance, who, smart guy that he is, proposed to her on Main Street, USA. So, way to go. I'm just saying, if you're going to do that, that's a classy move. So anyway, I grabbed Megan and I said, "Well, come on, you got to be on the show." So I'm going to wrap up the show with Megan and some of her family. And Tim, hey, I think we got an invite to a wedding. So here's as we wrap up the show. Here is Megan. You guys know where to find us. We're not going to go through all that, and I'm just going to leave you with here is Megan. See you, everybody. Hey, everybody. This is Resort Loop Bob, and I'm in, where are we at? Disney Studios, and I just got accosted by a family here. Good listener to the show, Megan, is with me. Hi, Megan.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. We already established that.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Nervous.
You're a little bit better than good, aren't you?
Yes, I'm very excited.
What are you nervous about?
Just talking on the show. I'm a big fan, so.
Well, no, that's not why you should be nervous. Why are you nervous?
That's really the only reason.
You just got, something just happened.
Right.
Oh
I just got engaged, yes.
And I see your fiance took off. He doesn't want any part of this. I see him back there. He's not even looking this way.
Very shy.
He's very shy. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
When what are we talking? Is Tim and I going to be invited?
It's going to be a small wedding.
Oh, so that's a no. There you go, Tim. That would be a no. Well, Megan, thanks for jumping in front of me and saying stop.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Say something?
Yeah, what do you want to say?
Hi, Mom.
Okay, we don't know who Mom is. Who is Mom?
Lisa
Lisa.
Carbone. I don't think she listens to this, but I'll have her.
Yeah. Hey, we got a new looper. Woo! All right. Well, the hashtag engaged looper is here. So, congratulations
Thank you so
again.
much.
All right.